In Lesson 5, we're going to talk about the difference between Windows apps and Windows programs or full applications. We'll go over some of the included apps that come with Windows 8. We'll see how to access the Windows Store. We'll perform an app search. We'll look for Solitaire and we'll download it. We'll set up a Microsoft account and we'll talk about the differences between a local account and a Microsoft account. And I'll show you how to cycle through open applications. Let's take a moment and review the difference between apps and programs. Now, sometimes I'll also refer to programs as full Windows applications or desktop applications. But apps are new to Windows 8. They're the things that you have to download from the Windows Store, whereas normal Windows programs you can get from anywhere. You can buy them on the shelf, you can download them from different websites, etc. Programs are the traditional Windows applications that we've known for years. Now, apps are generally designed to be used on a tablet or Windows phone. They usually take up the whole screen, although I'm going to show you how with larger displays you can actually snap them on one side or the other. And of course, traditional Windows programs can take up a full screen, but they're usually designed to run inside of a normal window like we just saw in the last lesson. Windows 8 apps are usually very specialized. They have one very specific focus, one purpose. Whereas traditional Windows programs can be extremely multi-purpose. Look at Microsoft Word, for example. It does everything but the kitchen sink. Again, Windows 8 apps will only run on Windows 8. You can't use them in older versions of Windows. However, most Windows applications will run on a variety of different Windows platforms. So the stuff that you had from Windows XP will run just fine under Windows 7 or Windows 8. Most of the time, they're compatible between at least several versions. Now, one of the good things about Windows apps is that if you download it from the Microsoft Store, generally it can be considered safe. Yeah, there are some really weird types of malware that might get in there, but most of the time, 95% of the time, they're perfectly safe. Whereas any normal program that you download from any random website could have a virus or any kind of spyware in it, so be careful. And that's why I'm going to show you Windows Defender and its virus scanner a little bit later on. WordPad and Internet Explorer out here are example of traditional Windows applications or Windows programs. Whereas these guys are Windows 8 apps. They run differently. As you can see, this Internet Explorer here takes up the full screen. Apps are generally designed to run on a tablet. And that's generally the big separation between them right here. These are your Windows 8 apps. And these guys over on this end are your traditional Windows applications, your programs. Now, personally, I'm kind of torn about this. I like these apps for tablets and for phones, but I think that it's creating a bit of a dichotomy here. It's almost like two operating systems in one. I think that it may be a mistake to put the two of them together in a single operating system, but only time will tell. It might just take me a little bit of time to get used to it. I kind of fought the ribbon menu interface when it first came out in Microsoft Office 2007, but now I really, really like it. So we'll see. The good news is if you don't like this, you can spend most of your time on the traditional Windows desktop and almost never have to use these guys. Because I'll be honest, some of them on a regular computer, it's a big waste of space to have this gigantic amount of real estate on the screen taken up by just one app. Now, most of these apps do pretty much what they say they're going to do. I'm going to show you some of the features in some of these apps today, but we're going to save a lot of them for future classes. There's only so much I can cover in one lesson. Bing is Microsoft's search engine. I'll show you how this works in a few minutes. You can look for anything from Apple Pie to directions to the mall to all kinds of stuff using Bing. Calendar is self-explanatory, keeps track of your appointments. Camera allows you to use the webcam if your computer or laptop has a built-in camera. Desktop takes you back to the traditional Windows desktop. Finance lets you check your stock and portfolio information. Games, of course, brings you to some games. Internet Explorer allows you to browse the web. You have your email application. Maps for directions and looking around and seeing what your house looks like from a satellite. Messaging is a unified instant messenger to let you chat with people. Music lets you type in the name of a song or an artist or an album, and it'll try and find it for you and play that. News is a newsreader, gives you different news from around the world. People lets you keep track of all your contacts and their information. Photos is a photo viewer. Reader allows you to read documents, PDF files and such. SkyDrive is that cloud storage device where Microsoft keeps your documents up on their server so you can access them from anywhere you want. Sports gives you sporting information, your favorite teams and such. The Store is where we're going to go to download new apps. Travel lets you plan a trip. Video is a video viewer. And of course there's the weather app to get the forecast. Now over here on the traditional Windows application side, again, ignore the tight VNC stuff, that's just for me. You have your traditional Windows accessories like Calculator, Notepad, Paint, Windows Media Player, there's WordPad, some different ease of access tools like the magnifier, the narrator, your nerdy system stuff like the command prompt, the control panel, File Explorer and such. We're not going to cover all these today, but I am going to show you a couple of them. Now, one of the things I like to do first is I like to go through and pin the applications that I use on a regular basis to the taskbar. It's easier to find them than coming in here. So like Calculator, I use constantly. I'm going to come down here and pin to taskbar. Notepad I use a lot, pin to taskbar. WordPad we already did. If you right-click on it here, you'll see it says unpin from taskbar. Windows already knows we pinned it. All right, right-click again to turn that off. I use the command prompt a lot, so I'm going to right-click on that. Pin to taskbar. You don't have to. That's something I use constantly. All right, so go through and just pick the different applications. If you've installed Microsoft Office, you'll see those applications here. Feel free to pin Word and Excel and PowerPoint and whatever other applications you use to your taskbar. When you go back to your Windows desktop, you'll see them all right down here, nice and easy to get to. All right, there's my calculator. I use a calculator all the time because I'm horrible at math. Okay, so now that we've gone through and taken a look at some of the included applications, I want to get more applications. I want the Solitaire game. I love Solitaire. I can't believe Microsoft didn't include it with Windows, but of course, it's an easy download from the Microsoft Store. So let's come down here on the Start menu and pick Store. You'll see the store loads up. Of course, you have to make sure you have a live internet connection for this to work. Here's the store. You can use your mouse scroll wheel or your finger if you want to slide between these. You can see some of the different apps that are here. All right? Most of them are free. Some of them you have to pay for. For example, right here, there's Pac-Man. It's $9.99. You can click on top paid or top free or new releases. Now, what you see here changes all the time. So you might not see the same stuff in your store that I see right now. They change it constantly. All right, new stuff's always coming out. But it's basically the same stuff. All right, you can scroll through. There's Skype. All right, there's FX Networks and all kinds of different stuff in here. Now, how do you find something that you're looking for? How do you search? Well, you can search by just simply typing in what you're looking for. Now, if you have a keyboard, that's great. Just start typing in Solitaire. S-O-L-I-T. All right, there's a couple of different Solitaire games right there. Notice the search that has come up right here. All right, the search. If you scroll down, notice that Store is highlighted. You can actually search through any of these different applications. You can search for people. You can search through sports. You can search through app settings and files. So whatever you're searching for is limited by whatever application is selected down here. So it's kind of one interface to search everything. That's why I said the search has been really enhanced and revised. Now, if you don't have a keyboard, if you're using a touch device, just swipe your finger in from the right, and that will bring up the Charms bar. You can also use your mouse by putting it in the upper right or lower right corners. And right there, you can see the Charms bar. Oh, I always miss it. See, it's right there. And then just move your mouse down over it, and there's the Charms bar. You can hit Search now, and the same thing happens. All right, Solitaire. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't tried any of these Solitaire games yet, so let's just pick one. How about Solitaire for desktop? Let's see what that looks like. Click on it. And we got a couple different applications here we can pick from. Solitaire for desktop, Classic Solitaire free. Let's go with, I don't know. Let's just pick this one here, Classic Solitaire free. I haven't tried any of these yet. I'm going to click on it. It shows you a preview of it over here. You can see the overview, details, reviews. Reviews are always good. You can read through what other people had said about this particular game. All right, it's got 50 ratings so far, and it looks like about a little bit more than 4.5 stars. So if you want to give it a try, click the install button. Now, it says add your Microsoft account. What does this mean? I kind of talked about this briefly in an earlier lesson. When you set up Windows, you can have either a Microsoft account or a local account. A local account keeps all of your settings and information local to your computer, to your laptop, to your PC. It doesn't leave it. It stays right there. If you set up a Microsoft account, all of your settings and information get stored on Microsoft's server. Now, you don't have to use a Microsoft account, but if you don't, you won't be able to use the store, download apps, and use some of the different apps we looked at earlier. Furthermore, you can still keep a local account for your computer and then just use a Microsoft account to log into the store separately. But every time you come in here and want to use one of the apps that requires your Microsoft account, you're going to have to log in every single time. So, for the purposes of class, let's cancel out of this and change our local account to a Microsoft account. So I'm going to come down here and hit cancel. And let's close down the store. You can use Alt F4, or you can come up here and use the hand like I showed you before. I'm just going to hit Alt F4 and close that down. That'll bring me back to the start menu. Now, how do we change our account? Well, let's go up here and bring up the charms bar. So move your mouse up into the corner, come down here, and go to Settings. And then down toward the bottom here, it says Change PC Settings. Click on that. That's going to bring up this PC Settings screen. Now, there's a lot of different stuff in here. I'm going to show you some of this today and save some of it for future classes because some of it's kind of advanced. But for now, we're looking for users right there. Now, it says Your Account, Richard, Local Account. Local account means all my information is stored locally on this PC. But I want to change this to a Microsoft account. So I'm going to click on this. Okay, it wants me to sign in, so I'm going to type in my current password. Click Next. Next, you have to type in your email address so Microsoft can link it to your Microsoft account. I'll type in windowslearningzone@amacron.com. Next. Please wait while it does some stuff up on Microsoft's server. Now it wants some information for your account. Let's type in a password. Tab. Oh, it says 8 characters. See over on the right there? It wants 8 characters. So I'm going to Shift Tab to move back up there. I'll type in a new password. That's a little bit longer. There we go. Type in the same password again. Type in your first name, your surname or last name. What country are you from? And your postcode. And then hit Next. This second screen is for some security information, generally to help you recover your password in case you forget it. All right, I'm going to put in here, let's see, my birthday is 23rd of October. And now everyone's going to know how old I am. Let's come down here, 1972. Now, if you hit Next at this point, it says you need to provide at least 2 types of security information. So I'll put in a phone number. That's not really my phone number. Another email address, second address at amacron.com, let's say. And then I'll pick a secret security question. Let's say name of first pet, and I'll put in here, I don't know, Shaggy. All right, and then I'll hit Next again. Next, you have some options. Enhance my online experiences by letting Microsoft Advertising use my account information. If you turn that on, then the advertisement that you see when you're browsing the web and such will be tailored to your needs. For example, let's say you do a Bing search on waterbeds. You're looking to buy a waterbed. Well, you're going to start seeing ads for waterbeds. I actually kind of like that. Some people think it's a security risk or it's a privacy invasion. I disagree because, you know, as a married man, for example, I don't want to see ads for dating services. I would much rather see ads that are tailored to things that Microsoft knows that I'm interested in. So I think that's okay. I like that. All right? Do you want promotional offers from Microsoft? Sure, you get coupons and specials and stuff like that. Okay, type in this here. It looks like gibberish, but it's actually some letters. They want to make sure that you're a human and not just some automated bot. So let's see, what is that? YVVH4DJF. It's usually not case sensitive. We'll find out in a minute. All right, I agree. I'll hit Next again. Yep, and see, it didn't match. That happens to me all the time. I can never do these things. Let's see, maybe it is case sensitive. P4V5WWLG. Let's see if I get it right this time. Next. I hate those things. Okay, looks like I got it. Okay, sign in with a Microsoft account. And then finish. Preparing your Microsoft account. Okay, and now you can see that I have a Microsoft account here. Now, at any time in the future, you can always switch it back to a local account. If you're worried about security, you want to make sure you keep all this information local, that's fine too. In fact, you can set up other users, and later on I'll show you how to do this. We'll set up a guest account. Because if you have a friend come over, you don't want them getting into your normal account, right? Or if the kids want to use the computer, you can set up a kids account. And they can't do things like install programs or look at your files. I'll show you how to do that later on. Okay, but the whole purpose of doing this was so we could download Solitaire, right? So I'm going to cancel out of this. I'm going to hit Alt F4 to close PC settings. Let's go back into the store. Oh, and look, it remembered exactly where we were inside the store app. So I'll come over here, hit install. Okay, it's doing some stuff. Now it says verify your email address. It says before you can continue, we need to check your inbox for a message from Microsoft account team, follow the instructions in the email, and finish setting up your account. Basically, Microsoft wants to make sure that you are who you say you are. So I need to go right now and check this Windows Learning Zone at Amacron.com, which is an email that I set up for myself. Here's the email I received. It just says verify your email address. Click on the Verify Windows Learning Zone at Amacron.com, and that will verify that I am the owner of that email address. So Microsoft knows I am who I say I am. Now, if you don't have another email address, you can set up an email address using Gmail or Outlook.com or Hotmail or any of the free email services. Okay, so now that I've verified my email address with Microsoft, as soon as I hit close, and I forgot to record it in the video, but the Solitaire application downloaded in the background. So now I'm going to switch out of the Store app, Alt F4, to close that. And notice right over here, there's Classic Solitaire. Okay, I just downloaded that from the Microsoft Store. All right, the download happened so fast, I accidentally forgot to hit the record button, and before I knew it, it was done. All right, but there it is. It was real easy. So I can click on Classic Solitaire now. It opens right up. And there's the Solitaire game. And if you don't know how to play Solitaire, again, in my Windows 101 Basics class, I take you through the whole thing of how to play Solitaire. I'm not going to go through it right now in today's class, though. Now, since we got Solitaire open, I do want to show you another way you can quickly switch between applications. Right up top here in the upper left corner, move your mouse right there. If you move into the corner, you'll see a little desktop. All right? If you click on that, it brings you back to the Windows desktop. It switches between the application that you were using and the desktop. Notice if I hold my mouse right there, Solitaire still stays there. I can click on it again to flip between it. That's how you can quickly switch between two applications. What if we have another application open? Let's go back to the Start menu. I just hit the Start button on my keyboard. And let's open up Internet Explorer, the Internet Explorer app right here. Now watch this. I'm going to go to the upper left-hand corner again. Notice there's Solitaire. And notice now if I drag my mouse down, you can see all the open applications will show up there. There's Classic Solitaire, there's Desktop, there's the Start menu on the bottom. And you can have 2, 3, 4 of these things showing up here. So I can switch between Classic Solitaire. I can come up here. I can drop this down again. I can go back to Internet Explorer. All right, the swipe gesture for that is just to swipe your finger in from the left. You'll see that menu pop up, this little guy right up here. And you'll see that. You can switch back to the desktop. Another way you can switch between different applications that are open is by using the Alt-Tab key. So hold the Alt key down and then press the Tab key. Now, keep the Alt key down, and you can hit Tab, Tab, Tab to cycle through the open applications. I use this all the time. All right, let the Alt key go as soon as you find the app that you want. So Alt, Tab, Tab, and that'll take you to Internet Explorer. All right, Alt, Tab, Tab, back to the desktop. You can also use Win key Tab, and that brings this thing up. Hold down the Windows key, Tab, 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 and you can cycle through those apps too that way. Okay, those are two different types of keyboard shortcuts that I use all the time. Okay, I'm going to go ahead now and close down Internet Explorer. Again, you can use the hand up here and drag it to the bottom, or just press Alt F4. And what else is open? Let's come over here, upper left corner, drag it down. There's my classic solitaire. I'm going to close that, Alt F4. All right, maybe switch back to my desktop. All right, so we see we're learning how to move around in Windows here, how to open up our applications, our classic Windows apps, and lots more.